بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
So you can say the nafs is internal and the temptations are the things that are outside that tempt the nafs towards it. So he says فَإِنَّهُ لَن يَنَالَ مِنْكَ عَدُوُّكَ مَا يُرِيدُ إِلَّا مِنْ قِبَلِ هَوَى نَفْسِكَ. So Imam Harith al-Muhasibi, he explains the nafs with so much detail. He says that the enemy inside of you cannot lead you astray until you cooperate with him. The enemy that's inside of you, this nafs, the one that always wants to eat and drink and fulfill its desires and wreak havoc and cause fights and corruption and all that, that inside of you, it's not gonna do what it wants to do until you let it, because it's under your control. It's not out of your control, it's in your control. فَإِنَّهُ لَن يَنَالَ مِنْكَ عَدُوُّكَ مَا يُرِيدُ إِلَّا مِنْ قِبَلِ هَوَى نَفْسِكَ. That the nafs is not going to do what it wants to do. Your enemy inside of you can't do what it wants to do unless you allow it to do it, because you want to do it. وَلَوْلَا ذَلِكَ لَكُنْتَ قَدْ ازْدَدْتَ بِدُعَاءِ عَدُوِّكَ قُرْبَةً إِلَى رَبِّكَ إِذْ كَانَ سَبَبُ الْقُرْبَةِ دُعَاؤُهُ. Subhanallah. And he says, and if it wasn't for that, you continue to increase. Every time that your nafs calls you to evil, you increase in closeness to Allah. This is, subhanallah, this is the teachings of our beloved Shaykh Tameem Ahmadi. He said, when you go outside and there's like so many shameless things, or on the internet there's pornography, or outside there's pornography, or outside there's shamelessness, he said, there's nothing wrong with that. Every single point that you are experiencing at that is an opportunity to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Harith al-Muhasibi is saying, every time your enemy calls you to commit a sin, you become closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why do you become closer to Allah? لِأَنَّهُ حِينَ دَعَاكَ عَدُوُّكَ فَأَبَيْتَ أَن تُجِيبَهُ. لِأَنَّهُ حِينَ دَعَاكَ عَدُوُّكَ فَأَبَيْتَ أَن تُجِيبَهُ. Then what happens? كنت بامتناعك مطيعا حين عصيت من دعاك إلى ما لا يحب ربك عز وجل وكان اعتصامك منه خوفا من الله عز وجل. He says, because every time the enemy calls you, then what do? You disobey your enemy and you listen to Allah by disobeying the enemy. So every time your nafs tells you to do something bad, there's one person, he said, Shaykh, I feel really bad because I got all these evil thoughts. My shaykh said, no problem. You will become closer to Allah than anyone else. He said, what? But he said, but I have such evil thoughts. I have such bad ideas and such bad thoughts and fantasies that come in my heart. He said, no, you become more pious than anyone else. How can that be? He said, because every time those bad thoughts call you, you disobey those bad thoughts and you obey Allah. So that's every minute is actually obedience to Allah, because you're disobeying the nafs. You see how the nafs works? So a person should not be perturbed like, I get these evil thoughts, I got these bad thoughts. No problem. If you get 1,000 bad thoughts, that's 1,000 opportunities to disobey the nafs, your enemy, and obey Allah. I don't care about what you're telling me. I'm not going to listen to you. Like a dog that's barking. Your nafs that's telling you, do this bad thing, do this bad thing, look at this bad thing, go on that internet site, look at this pornography, look at that girl, look at that woman, look at that chest and look at that backside. When the nafs is telling you that, then what do? No, I'm not listening to you. You're just a dog barking. Like the neighbor's dog? We have dogs all around our neighborhood. What do you do? Bark, 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 bark. Just don't even listen. It barks itself away. It barks itself to sleep. Eventually, خودش خاموش میشه. Itself, it's going to bark itself to silence. And that's how you should treat the nafs. It's going to bark to get what it wants, but don't listen to him. And when you don't listen to it, don't be bothered. Oh my God, I got these thoughts. What could I do? So sometimes we get so worried by the bad thoughts that we get that shaitan becomes happy. Look how much I'm bothering him. Look how much I'm disturbing him. And he gets happy when you get disturbed. He gets happy when you get worried that I must be a bad person. If I'm getting that bad thought, I must be a bad person. If I'm getting that bad thought, I must be an evil person. I must be a person that I cannot become close to Allah. Don't let shaitan make you think that. My shaykh actually said, and I heard this from my shaykh directly, he said, when you have these bad thoughts, the more bad thoughts you have, the better a person you can become. The closer you can become to Allah. He said, because every bad thought is like a step on the ladder. You understand? Every bad thought, imagine it to be a step on that ladder. When that bad thought comes to you, step on it. Another bad thought comes, step on it. Another bad thought comes, step on it. Every bad thought that comes, keep stepping on it, and which direction you're going to go. When you're stepping on the ladder, which direction you're going, down or up? So if you have 1,000 steps, if you have 1,000 steps, how you're going to go higher, right? Does that make sense or does it make sense? If you got 2,000 steps, the higher, the more steps, the more you step on, the higher you go. But guess what happens? Shaitan will only bring them when you don't recognize it. When you recognize that those bad thoughts are a means of getting closer to Allah, then those thoughts will go away, because shaitan doesn't want you to go higher. You know what? He's taking all of these bad thoughts and he's turning it into money. He's turning it into currency. He's making cash out of it. That's going to be your benefit. Then he's going to try from another technique. Oh, I can't get him like that with bad thoughts. I will get him with this. I'm better than everybody else because I pray so much. You see? So he tried another tactic. He tried to, confuse you by putting thoughts of sexual thoughts in your mind, bad thoughts in your mind. So what does he do? He starts putting pride in your heart. I'm better than other people. I pray namaz. So I'm more holier than thou. And these people, they're not good enough. They're Jahannami. They're going to hell. I'm going to paradise. Allah doesn't like this. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows who will go to heaven and hell. We are not the gatekeepers of heaven and hell. We don't have a right to judge anyone by the way they are, by the way they dress, by the way they look. Only Allah Azza wa Jal knows. We cannot judge anybody. But shaitan will bring it inside of you. And when that comes in your mind, you have to make mukhalafat of that. Say, no, I am not better than anybody. I don't know what my end is going to be. Only Allah Ta'ala knows. So each one of these is a test. Every time that thought comes, every time that fikr comes, every time that desire comes, then what do you need to do? It's like a step on that ladder. Step on it. Whatever it's asking you, do opposite of that. My dear brothers and sisters, please listen to me. Wallahi, major issues I've seen with people that they have is that they think every thought that comes in my mind must be a good thought. This is a wrong path. That whatever thought comes in my mind, I follow that thought. Don't follow every thought. Every thought that comes in your mind is not a good thought. I'm better than everybody. Oh, I did so good. Oh, this person is so bad. Oh, salam like this. Every thought that comes in your mind, you have to learn how to sift out your thoughts. You know, Chilaw Safa Didi, you see the sift? You know what a sift? Chilaw Safa, come here for me. Where you pour the tea and all the, right? You pour the tea inside the, what do they call it? The sift. A sieve, a sift. A sieve is the one where you do it with the wheat. But a sift is like, the tea. You know when they make dudh patti? Strainer. Right? Strainer. Right? You put the stuff inside, all the stuff comes from the bottom, and what you need stays on top. You need to sift out your thoughts through sift. Chalaw saf kuni, fikr khuda. Don't think that every thought that comes in my mind is right. Your thoughts can lie to you. I'm good. I think right. I'm doing right. I said right. No. You have to train. If Allah is happy with my words, then I'm right. If Allah is not happy with my words, then I'm not right. If this thing that I'm doing, Allah is pleased with it, then good. If Allah is not pleased with it, then it's not good.